What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rip, and we are here with my first vlog series, Ask Rip Anything. Last week I put a video out reaching out to all my people out there who are supporting me and, staying in tune with what I'm doing. And I gave them an opportunity to reach out to me and ask me some questions about anything. Advice on music or, just questions about my personal life, my music career, anything like that. So I got a decent amount of questions, so I'm going to read back some of these questions, and I'm gonna have to break it up in two segments here. So we're gonna have a part one and a part two. So I'll probably release part two next week because I don't want these videos to be too long and then people lose interest. So my first question came in from somebody who asked, you recently opened up to your fans and the world about your struggle with sexual addiction, your relationship with God, and recent vow of celibacy. What advice do you have to those struggling with sexual addiction or any addiction that don't have religion to turn to? So this person is referring to a post that I made recently on my Instagram and Facebook page, kind of letting the people know that some struggles that I've struggled with and some some things that some turns that I took in my personal life. For one, I don't like the word religion. That kind of puts things in a box and it turns a lot of people off. There's a good video out there by Jefferson Bethke called Why I Hate Religion But Love Jesus. And it's a pretty good video. He put it out a couple years ago, and I think there's like 32 million views on it already. Check that video out. That kind of pretty much puts everything into perspective. I wouldn't say that I'm religious. I have a relationship with God. I have faith. Even though I may be labeled as a Christian, I more or less have a faith in God. And religion is not really the word that I would like to use for people to turn to in a situation like this. But to answer your question, this is a tough question because sexual addiction, or any addiction for that matter, is a very powerful thing. It's something that people can't control. Addiction is something that kind of takes control of you and your life, and it's really beyond your control. My whole family has addiction issues, and I've seen it my whole life. And it's not a simple thing where you just say, well, if you care about me or you love me enough, you'll stop. You know what I mean? It's literally something that takes control, that's more powerful than you. And it takes control over you and your life. And I've seen it firsthand. I even remember a situation with my family where one of my family members said that, and another one of my family members who struggles with alcohol addiction, that they literally saw the devil in this person's eyes one time when they were trying to confront him about the addiction. And that was really eye-opening to me, and that just happened not too long ago, maybe within like the last year or two. And it goes to show you that really addiction is something that is beyond our own control. And even in traditional Alcoholics Anonymous, they have a 12-step program, and they yield to and acknowledge to a higher power because they're fighting another power that's higher than them. So in order to fight something that's higher than you, you have to use something that's higher, than that power itself. So in my Celebrate Recovery program, we have the same 12-step program as the traditional Alcoholics Anonymous, except we acknowledge God, and we acknowledge God as a higher power. It's more or less the secular way and the Christian way of viewing things. It's the same exact 12-step program. It's just that we acknowledge that higher power as God or Jesus Christ. So in all honesty, I don't know how to answer that question. I can't really give advice to people who are struggling with addiction that don't have faith to turn to, because in my opinion, that's the only way and the only thing that's going to help you, and that's the only thing that's helped me. So unless someone can really acknowledge a higher power, I mean, even if you don't believe in God or Jesus, I mean, you have to acknowledge that there's something out there more powerful than you that's going to have to fight this problem, which is also more powerful than you, which you can't control. So I don't see how anybody would fight something like that any other way. So that's my opinion. And then they ask a second question. Between your music career and your more recent photography, videography business, which one do you see yourself dedicating more time to over the next 5 years? Hands down, my music career. I started music years ago, 20 years ago already, man. And that's something I dedicated my life to, man. I mean, like I said in my Still Here music video, dedicated my life to music. It's in my veins forever. I got a music sleeve dedicated to music. You know what I mean? Musical instruments. I mean, Music is my life. I don't see myself straying from it anytime soon. The videography and photography business was kind of more of a means to an end. You know, I started producing my own music videos and stuff, and I kind of got into that end of things simply because I needed those skills to progress my own music career. So because of that, I decided last year to launch a videography business because it'd be a means to an end, which could help me earn money on the side, supplemental income to help finance my music career. So I love videography, I love photography and stuff, but I love music more than anything. I truly believe that's my calling, and that's what God put in my heart to do. That's where I see myself in the next 5 years, especially with the direction that I'm going right now. I'm kind of tapping into a new market. I'm actually at the prime age for that market right now, because the market that I'm trying to tap into now isn't like the previous market I was trying to tap into, like the young crowd and all that, you know, the pop culture and everything like that. So there's actually people my age and older. I have older fans, you know, that are really feeling my new music and stuff now too. You know, parents, you know, of children and stuff. So I really feel that the next 5 years will really be a good run in my music career, especially with this new direction I'm taking it. In fact, next year I already have some huge things lined up as far as shows and stuff, and people that are behind me, supporting me and stuff. So it's looking very promising actually, and I really look forward to the next 5 years of my music career. So that's good. My first question, keeping in mind over the past few years we have talked about scripture and God often. I even went to church with you this morning. I know your faith and heart is solidly headed towards heaven, but I never asked you, what was your turning point? When did God become more important to you? What made you make that full turn? I never really asked you that. God has always been important to me. It's just that I kind of put him on a back burner for a long time there because I wanted to do things my way. I wanted to do my music career, my life my way. I thought I knew better, and I thought that you know, my way was the more fun way. But it turns out I was wrong, and God became more of a priority to me more recently within the last year or so, when I just reached empty. You know, I was emotionally bankrupt, mentally, emotionally, spiritually bankrupt. I was just on E until I found myself in my bedroom on my knees in tears, just crying out to God because I was done. I was on empty. 2013 was one of my most successful years in my music career, and I won 5 Madison Hip Hop Awards. And I remember that night, you know what I mean, I went out to the bar to celebrate. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and a couple of my friends that were out to support me. We went out to the bar to celebrate, and I remember not even wanting to be there. I just wanted to go home, and I was just depressed, you know what I mean. And I was coming off one of the biggest years in my music career ever, you know, especially in Madison. And I just remember reaching the point like, why do I not feel fulfilled? Why do I feel empty? You know what I mean? And it was, you know, I was longing for something, for all these things that weren't really even fulfilling me in my heart. And I just reached a point more recently in my life where, you know, a couple other incidents in my life just drained me to the point where I was like, I was done doing things the way that I thought was right. You know, I was done trying to fulfill my life with empty things, you know, things that weren't fulfilling at all. And that was really the turning point. I needed something, you know, that was going to fulfill me, and there was nothing else that was going to fulfill me, you know, other than God. So I turned to God, and it's been amazing, you know what I mean? It was the best thing I ever did. I wish I did it sooner, but hey, God's timing is everything. So when are you releasing your album? I have to plan for this, you know. I originally wanted to release my album late summer, early fall. But in all honesty, it depends on a number of factors. What I'm really trying to do with these music videos and stuff is kind of generate a buzz and build anticipation for the album. So by the time I have an album release party, I can have a nice little group of supporters that will come out to support me and that are anticipating the album. And it's just kind of it's kind of different because I'm kind of catering and marketing myself to a whole new demographic and crowd now. So I'm still got my foot in this pool with my old supporters and fans, and kind of got dipping my toes in this new pond over here too. So it's really about generating the buzz, and you know, not just getting something together and throwing it out there. That's a mistake that a lot of these musicians and other people do, is they make music and they put them on CDs, and some of them they just sit there and they don't even do nothing with it. They don't even promote it or nothing, or they'll just put it up on the internet and then they'll call it a day. They have no marketing strategy or plan behind it. So I really need to strategize this, you know what I mean, and generate a buzz enough to the point where people are anticipating my release, so I have enough people to come out and support me for the album release party. So I'm hoping this fall 2016 is really when I'm looking to do it. I can't do it much later than that because I want to, hopefully, depending on how it turns out, I want to get back in the studio and release and finish the album and turn the EP into an LP, which, for those who don't know, an EP is a short extended play, which is an album under half an hour typically, and then an LP is a full-length album, which is a long play. It's really just generating the buzz, and so I got to finish up this music video for my new Me single that I'm working on, and then kind of take it from there and do a couple other music videos and kind of generate the buzz enough to the point where people are releasing or anticipating the release of the album, and then I'll probably release it in the fall sometime. Out of all the albums you released prior to this one, which has the most meaning to you and why? Fashionably Late, without a doubt, because that was my debut solo album. For those who don't know, I started my music career in 2000. That's when I launched my independent record label when I was still in high school. All I ever wanted to do was release a solo album, so it took me 10 years of releasing, label compilations with my other artists, teamed up on other projects with other artists on my label. I put out mixtapes and all this other stuff, singles, but I never put out my solo album until 2010, which was Fashionably Late. So simply because that was my first solo album ever, that's probably has the most meaning to it. Question number 5. Okay, this question was asked by somebody a bartender at one of the bars that I DJ at, and it was just kind of it was a random question. We were talking about the who or Ask Rip Anything thing, and they wanted to know, do you have any tattoos you regret? Yes and no. The word regret, I don't like using that word in my vocabulary. I really don't have any regrets in life, because at that point in time in my life, that's what I wanted, and that's what I wanted to do, and that's what was important to me. And I could look back on it and reflect on it and be like, man, what were you thinking? So I really don't regret it at all. But about 2 years ago, I actually got that tattoo covered up. When I was 19, I got 2 Chinese symbols that signified money and fame. When I was 9, that was like one of my first tattoos, probably like my second or third tattoo ever, and I got it on the back of my calf. And back then, that's what was important to me. I thought, if I just have money and fame, and then, man, I'd have it all. And as you get older, you grow and you learn, and you realize that those things are real futile, man, and they're really not important at all. So I got it covered up 2 years ago. I got a tattoo of a Sacred Heart. Even though it's more of a Catholic symbol, I just like it because it's a heart. It's got the thorns, and then it's got like flame coming out the top. So I kind of had the flames engulfing the money and fame Chinese tattoos, kind of just trying to kind of cover those up and stuff. So it's like God's love engulfs those futile things which are meaningless, and it overpowers and overtakes those, and I thought it was kind of cool. So no, I don't have any regrets of any tattoos. Do you plan to do any fun Christmas music? You know what? A couple years ago, I had an idea to do it. That's one of those things that's like on the way back burner though. One of these years I might do it. I don't know. I have a lot of stuff, like I said earlier, I have a lot of things coming up in the next few years, and that's something you really have to plan ahead of time, like a year in advance. You know what I mean? Like, because you have to actually like write songs, record them, and get them prepped for the Christmas season and stuff. And it's something I would like to do eventually one of these years. I think it'd be cool to do, but as far as any immediate desire to do it, no. I have way too many other things on my heart that I feel like are calling me. But I do see myself maybe doing it one of these years. I think it'd be cool to do because it's something different. Do you ever plan to settle down, get married, and have kids? Well, yes, I do. I don't like the word settle, just like the word religion. I don't like the word settle because nothing about my life is settling. I'll never be settled in life. I'm always going to be, pursuing my mission in life. Just settle doesn't mesh well with me and my lifestyle and who I am and what I do. But I don't want people to take that the wrong way either, because I do plan on having seasons in my life where I do kind of relax a little bit, and I'm able to enjoy the fruits of my labor and enjoy, a family and a wife. Like I said, one of my biggest goals in life is to be successful with a successful marriage and a successful family, more than anything, more than music, more than Grammys or money or anything out there. So I will try to find that balance to dedicate time to my family, get married, and have kids. That is an ultimate goal and success. that I'd like to achieve in life. I am at that age where I'm, I am ready for something like that. I believe God has been preparing me mentally, spiritually, and emotionally to come to this point. And I am, like I said, I am at that age where that is something that's on the table. So I'm not out there dating for fun. I'm not out there to have fun. I'm not out there to look for anything that's temporary or fun. I am dating to marry. That's the point I'm at in my life. I am dating to marry, and I do look to get married and have kids sometime, hopefully in the foreseeable future. At this point, it's all up to God. It's in His hands. So that's where I left it. All right, this person trusted me with a kind of personal question. It says, I suffer from anxiety. I have huge dreams. I have placed my dreams kind of on the back burner so I can raise my kids and make sure my family is happy. When I think about chasing my dreams, I get anxious and feel selfish. How do I take care of my family and follow my dreams at the same time without being selfish and getting anxious all at the same time? Does that make sense? So this kind of goes in line with my last question. It's all about balance. It's all about finding that healthy balance. The thing is, you don't want to ever put your dreams on the back burner, because deep down inside you're going to end up feeling resentment for your family, even though you may think right now like, oh, I really love them, I'll never resent them. But if you have huge dreams on your heart that God put on your heart, or that you really feel you want to pursue, you have to be true to yourself, and you have to follow those dreams, and you have to find a way to do it. You have to find a healthy balance and where you can do that, because like I said, you don't want to someday down the road end up resenting your family because you feel like they took you away from your dreams. There's a lot of people who do, but at the same token, you don't want to give so much to your dreams and your passion that you neglect your family either, because at the end of the day, no amount of success, no amount of money, no amount of fame, no amount of anything will ever outweigh the love for your family. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, you're gonna be laying there, and you know what's gonna be important? It's gonna be your family that's right there, that's loved you your whole life, that's standing right by your bedside. You know, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter all those degrees that you have, all those accolades you have, all that money in your bank account, all those retirement funds, all that other, you know what I'm saying? All that is gonna be irrelevant. You know what I mean? What's gonna be most important is your family and your loved ones. So it's all about finding that healthy balance. I know exactly what you're going through. I suffer from anxiety myself, and it's not fun. It's really something that's going to take dedication on your part. You're probably going to have to work harder than a typical person, because you have two things that you have to balance now, versus someone like myself, who I can just focus all my energy right now, this current time of my life, onto my dreams. And you have a family, so it's going to be harder for you. But where there's a will, there's a way. I truly believe that. You know what I mean? And if you really have that passion and desire in your heart, if you have to sleep less, if you have to make more sacrifices, if you have to sacrifice, more time, more money, more sleep, no matter what it is, if that's what you have to do it, do it. But never give up on your dreams, and never push those aside, but never push your family aside too. So it's all about trying to find that happy balance, and doing that. I mean, I believe you can do it. I really do. There's other people out there who've done it. And I mean, if they can do it, so can you. You know what I mean? So I wish you the best. I truly believe, you have what it takes. I know who this person is, and I truly believe that you have what it takes to make that happy. And the thing is, it's cliche, but it's very true what they say. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. So I think it's actually very normal that you have huge dreams, that it gives you anxiety, it makes you scared or nervous. That's awesome. That's the beauty of life. So embrace that. Really, really embrace that. I'm telling you seriously, because if they don't scare you, your dreams aren't big enough. So I think that's awesome. I hope you can take that anxiety and use it as a fuel. You know what I'm saying? Like, use it, take it into your core and use that as a fuel, because at the end of the day, I think you'll really be fulfilled if you find a way to do it in a healthy manner where you can balance both, versus if you just choose one or the other. Next question, what are your greatest fears in your life, personal and professional? Well, I think some of my greatest fears in life are mostly societal pressures. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be married by this age. You need to have kids by this age. You need to have this kind of job or this kind of backup plan, or you need to have this kind of plan in place and these kind of savings and this kind of retirement plan and da 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 da, and all these things where societal pressures like really nail these ideas and concepts into your head when really they're just that. They're societal pressures. They're not what's necessarily fit for you or what's in your heart or what you desire for your own life. So I think that one of my greatest fears is not conforming to societal pressures, but at the end of the day, that's not who I am. So I got to remind myself of that, and I got to remember that at my core, I'm being true to myself by following my dreams, living my life the way that I want to. I'm very happy living the life that I love right now. There are times when things get kind of scary, but that's life. You know what I mean? Everybody has fears every now and then, but use that as an opportunity to turn to God and put your trust in God, because fear is not of God. Fear is not of God. So when you have trust and faith in God, I think it can really help, in my opinion, in my beliefs, I really believe that can help suppress those fears in life. Professionally, at this point, I don't really have too many fears professionally because I'm at the point in my life where I don't have any professional fears whatsoever. I have more personal fears than anything. But like I said, fear is not of God. So, if you could really learn to put your trust and faith in Him, in my beliefs, in my opinion, man, you're golden. So, with as much as you've done between your music and movies and everything, why have you stayed in Madison so long? Why not LA or Texas or somewhere that the music and film industry is more popular? I have absolutely no desire whatsoever to go to California or LA. I don't even know where to start with that. It's just not appealing to me at this stage of my life anymore whatsoever. When I was a kid, that was my biggest dreams. Go move to California and move to LA and Hollywood and money, fame, glitz, glam, like all that stuff. That appealed to me back when I was a kid, but I'm a grown adult now and that stuff has no appeal to me whatsoever. I'm not searching for anything in life other than fulfillment from God. I don't feel anything else will fulfill me more than God. So jumping into an industry that's all about the Joneses and keeping up with the Joneses and money and fame and politics and who knows who and who can scratch who's back and all this stuff is it's not appealing to me whatsoever. I mean, and in this day and age, we got everything. We got the internet and stuff. Honestly, if you can't make it nowadays on the internet, like you're not gonna make it. So I mean, I see myself eventually one of these days possibly ending up somewhere else. Where, I don't know yet. I don't have the conviction on my heart yet to necessarily be called to a certain place at this point in my life. Usually in my life I act on convictions. What I feel God has convicted me to do. As of right now, I don't feel any convictions as to where I need to be other than where I'm at right now. I feel like life will take me where it needs to take me when it needs to take me there, but I don't have a desire to go pursue movies or something like that in LA or Texas or anywhere else where I'm just kind of conforming to everybody else's ideas of what I should be doing or what they want me to do and stuff. And and you say right here, even the last word, more popular. Like, I don't care about popularity. Like, that stuff's futile to me. It's to the wind. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what I desire. So I'm hoping I can make it right where I'm at right now. And if not, if I'm called somewhere else later down the road, so be it. I'm there. All right, last question for this segment. This is kind of a long and a personal one. So, okay, so this is random. Someone told me that you were a very great advice giver on relationship status. Well, since I trust you and don't trust many people, I'd like to get some advice from you because holding the stuff in is driving me nuts because I don't know what to do. So anyways, tell me if I've wasted 9 years of my life or not. Him and I have been together that long. Yes, most of the years really together. We, however, broke up for about a year to about 2 years. I left state for 3 months with the oldest. He tried everything to get me to come back. Well, I did come back and tried to work things out. I left because he cheated on me in front of my face. I was blind to see it, but didn't understand why he did. But at times I feel and think it was all my fault because I would do anything for him, you know. You only live once, so of course we had. So he didn't feel comfortable. Well, we worked things out, but I knew he was still seeing people at the time or whatever. He would lie about it. Then I had enough and just left again. Wouldn't speak to him, nothing, only text about our son. I went above and beyond for him always and doing more than a woman should have to do for the man. So am I stupid or something wrong with me for still being with him? Because yes, he has changed a lot, but also there is things that still need to be changed, like he has not cheated on me in years. But do I honestly know that? No, I don't. Only his word. So this person asked me this for my Ask Rip Anything series, and they're aware that I am answering this question. So this is kind of deep and personal question too. So first of all, you can't look at a situation like this as wasting your life or, you know, being stupid or anything like that. You have to look at everything in life as a learning experience and something that you can walk away from, that where you learned an important lesson or something that will help you grow into a better person. You have to look at things like that. You cannot sit there thinking that you wasted your life or that you walk away from a situation not learning anything from it. You have to learn something from every situation and relationship that you're in. With that said, I did find something very profound the other day that I thought was really eye-opening, that's really good. So let me read that to you really quick. It says, sorrow and pain are part of the relationship, as crucial as bliss and euphoria. You can't enjoy the highs unless you've experienced the lows. Tears aren't for the end of the relationship, but to water the seeds you're planting together. So relationships are all about being a team, you know what I mean? And it's all about growing together, but you both have to want that. You both have to want to be planting and watering that seed together. And more times than not, if it's not a group effort and you both don't want it, sometimes it's best if you just let it dissolve. But and the other thing is too, you have to keep in mind, this doesn't give the other person permission to walk all over you either. You must have a backbone, and you must still have boundaries in your relationship as well. You mentioned something about him cheating and stuff like that. I don't know the extent of it all, but that's personally something I wouldn't tolerate, and that's personally something that you know, some people, they believe in giving second chances and stuff, and that's something you have to decide with yourself. But the other thing is, here's the thing about relationships, is you really have to value and respect yourself more than anything. You really have to value, love, and respect yourself, because it's so cliche, but it's so true. If you don't value, respect, and love yourself, nobody else will. Here's the thing. When you don't love and value and respect yourself, but you love and value and respect somebody else, what you're doing is you're putting them on a pedestal, okay? And when you put them on a pedestal, guess what that does? Well, you're up here, or they're up here because you just put them on this pedestal and you're down here. What happens when somebody's on a pedestal? They have no other option but to look down on you, okay? Now you just put that person on a pedestal and you gave them the option to look down on you and devalue yourself. So relationships are all about bringing a full version of yourself to the table, a full loving version of yourself to the table. One that loves themselves and values themselves and is capable of loving and valuing somebody else. It's all about a level playing field, okay? You guys want to be on a level playing field. You don't want to be on any pedestals or looking up to somebody else and being a doormat, letting them walk all over you, because the minute you do something like that, they're not going to respect you. When someone's looking down on you from a pedestal, they're not going to respect you. And when somebody doesn't respect you, guess what? They're not going to love you, okay? Respect is the number one thing that leads to love. Respect and then attraction. So you want to make sure that the respect is there. And if it's not, you either both care enough about working on it and building that relationship, or sometimes it's better to go your separate ways. Personally, I'm not in a position to tell you what to do with your life. It sounds like or you have kids with this person, and you know that's a big decision you're going to have to make. So I can't tell you, you know, whether you stay with them or whether you leave. All I can tell you is to love and respect and value yourself. And if that person doesn't love or respect you, then you know, you're gonna have to decide if that's something you can accept in your life, or if something you're gonna have to walk away from. I personally would never be with somebody who doesn't respect me. Like I said, when there's no respect, there's no love. Love can't grow without respect. So it's all about setting boundaries. It's all about letting that person know, listen, this is my boundary. If you cross it, I'm not going to tolerate it. And you know, boundaries isn't sitting there and telling somebody what to do, like, hey, you can't do this, or you're not allowed to do this, or if you do this, blah blah blah. What you do is you let them know, listen, this is the type of boundaries that I have. This is the type of behavior I don't tolerate, and this is the type of behavior that is unacceptable to me. And they have to know that if they cross that boundary, that you won't tolerate it and you'll be gone. You don't threaten them. You don't say, if you do this, I'm gonna do this. But you let them know at their core that if they cross these boundaries, it's not something that you're gonna accept, and they stand a chance of losing you. Okay? You don't ever want to threaten people. You never threaten people, but you do set those boundaries, and you let them know that, you know, you are to be respected, and you give them the freedom to choose those choices. You know what I mean? You give them the freedom to choose. Am I going to go this route and make this mistake, or am I going to respect this person? You must love somebody in a way that they feel free. That's the number one thing, is you must love somebody so they feel free. They feel free to make the decisions that they want to make, but also know that if they make a certain decision, that it's not something that you're going to tolerate, and that you may be gone. The other thing is, you got to realize that nobody is perfect. Like I said, you can't put somebody up on that pedestal. You know what I mean? You got to be a level playing field. I personally myself, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. I'll never be perfect. And you know what I mean? And I want my partner to acknowledge that and know that as well, and accept me for my flaws. And but I don't want them to let me walk all over them as well. Don't put me on a pedestal. You know what I mean? And I want them to call me out. You know, when I'm acting out of place or that's not acceptable to them, you know what I mean? I want them to come to me like a grown adult and talk to me and communicate to me and let me know, hey, you're acting out of place right now, or I don't like the way you're treating me, or I don't like the way you're doing this. And it's all about communication. It's all about communicating like an adult, and setting those boundaries that I was telling you about. Because ultimately, you don't get what you deserve in life or a relationship. You get what you negotiate. So people treat you the way you allow them to treat you. So remember that, and value and love and respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself, they won't either. But once they do cross those boundaries, just remember to stick to your guns and have enough respect for yourself. You know, sociology 101, you never reward negative behavior. You let them get away with something, or you let them treat you a certain way, they're going to do it over and over again. And guess what? That's how they just grew accustomed to treating you. So it's all about having a backbone. It's all about sticking to it, valuing yourself enough to realize that this person isn't treating me the way that I want to be treated. And, you know, I'm going to walk away from this situation and, you know, learn something from it. So, you know, as of now, you say that you don't trust him, but you got to give him the benefit of the doubt, because if you don't, all that's going to do is going to carry out into your words and your actions and the way you treat him, and it's not going to be good. I mean, until he actually proves with his actions that he can't be trusted, you don't want to, you know what I'm saying, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. You don't want to keep hounding him. You don't want to, you know, you want to be like, just let him know, you're like, you know what, I'm trusting you. And like I said, if you set those boundaries, you're like, I'm trusting you, and I'm going to love you, and I'm going to be a part of your life as long as I trust you. But if anything happens, or you know, if you cross this boundary that I set, then I'm done. But you can't keep bringing it up. You know, you have to let things go. You really have to let the past go. You know, if you want a healthy relationship, you have to let the past go, and you guys have to live in the present moment. You can't keep living in the past. You can't worry about the future. You have to be present in the present moment. And until somebody crosses that boundary or gives you reasonable doubt, you're just kind of dangling something over your head that's really going to not let you live and love freely. That's how you need to. So that's my advice as far as the trust thing. Just have faith, you know what I mean? Because ultimately, if he breaks that trust and faith, that was on him, and things are gonna work out for the better, anyways. You know what I mean? You got to look at it that way. You got to look at it like, you're a good catch. If he messes up, it's his loss, and things are gonna work out for the greater good, anyways. That's the outlook you have to always have on everything in life. So that's my advice as far as that. I hope I answered your questions. For all those other people who asked other questions, I'm going to get to them in segment 2, part 2. This video is probably long as heck as it is, but stay tuned. I'm gonna release another one next week, and make sure you guys pay attention to that. I hope I answered your questions. If you guys ever have any other questions, feel free to hit me up on social media at any time. I'd be happy to help. Hopefully this little segment takes up some time while we're working on my new Me music video. Hopefully it should be done soon. And I really look forward to bringing you guys that. It's going to be dope, man. My guy Mark from Code in Motion is still working on it. He's spending a lot of time on it, so it's going to be a heck of a music video once it's done. And I look forward to bringing that to you guys. But until then, we'll see you guys next week for part 2 of this series. And thanks again for reaching out and connecting with me. I appreciate it very much. Take care.
Trinity, the third studio album from Rip, coming soon.